federal judge ruled a California high school teacher violated his student's First Amendment right to religious freedom for lecturing that the Bible's explanation of the universe's creation was superstitious nonsense. Now, did the teacher cross the line in giving his opinion about creation?
Well, he said it was nonsense.
Well, there were 20 statements in total that he had made, say, in one class, okay, ranging from religion began when the best con met the best, idiot or something like that. So, but he had made a bunch of these comments. The First Amendment apparently prohibits the government from making any law establishing religion and also prohibits government employees from displaying religious hostility. So, in this case, apparently he seemed to have violated that.
Go ahead. Did you believe this creationism?
I believe in creationism, but even if my son were in a school and everybody believes something else, I think it's a respect thing. I think we're taught in school, raise your hand, no question is too dumb. So that when you say something and a teacher looks at you and says that's complete and utter nonsense, then now that person, that student feels dumb.
We don't know that he did that then.
Well, he made comments saying that, when you put on your...
I'm saying the student might feel dumb when you raise your hand and you say something and they go, it's utter nonsense.
This is well, we don't know that he makes... We don't know that a student raised their hand or how he happened to
whether he raised his hand or not, when you got a teacher saying to you and putting what you say...
Well, let me go beyond that. This is one of the hotter subjects. Opie and I were discussing this. Teachers give their opinions on all kinds of situations if they're discussing something historically or even contemporarily. Nobody gets upset. This has always been a very hot button. Look, there was a Scopes trial over this. When you start to discuss whether it's creationism or Darwinism, you get into, as you know, one gets into a very hot discussion. There are schools which will not teach Darwinism, and that's also something that has been questioned, especially in private schools. It's a very hot
But our Constitution is designed to protect our religious freedoms in this country, no? So if this person...
But the real question is, does the teacher have the right to give his or her opinion?
Well, what I was going to say is that, we respect and revere the First Amendment in this country. But the answer to bad speech is not shut them up. The answer to bad speech is more speech. So if I say something that you don't like, you say it back to me. And that's the way we operate.
This is not their advantage. You're talking about
I'm getting to my point. My point being that in a situation like this, in a classroom, it is not an equal relationship because the children are not really able to go against the teacher. It's almost like sexual harassment, which is a crime when it's power position over the underling. So it's the same kind of thing. It's not equal. So it's not really First Amendment rights.
What I'm saying is in other classes, in so many subjects, teachers do give opinions. When it comes to religion and creationism, science versus God or science working with God. Has been and continues to be such a hot subject.
Listen, I was fired from a job, teaching job. My contract wasn't renewed because I was basically telling these boys during the Vietnam War not to go. And so I was reported by one of the students whose father was a general or something. A little snitch told the principal.
A general or something? I think it's probably a general that there's more respect.
Do you believe that Darwinism should be taught in schools, that the teacher should do that?
Well, you know what? I believe it's a respect thing. So if Darwinism is taught, just be respectful. That's what I think is missing, just the respect. And
like giving both sides.
This is so hot that in fact our
conscience every what I believe.
Sure, and that's a part of the thing. And I think when you get into public institutions of education, then you need to. It's so hot and so fiery that it does need to be protected in our Constitution. And we need to be
honest
with
that. You're going to teach your son science, aren't you? I mean, Darwinism is proven pretty much.
I would like Jeffrey to know about other things.
You have to teach both.
He will learn about both, but he's going to learn what I'm teaching him on my
page. Why do some people say you have to learn about both only when they want what they want to be taught?
Darwinism is not some kind of a religious fervor thing. There's proof.
No, I'm saying
scientific proof. And you want your children to go into the world being ignorant of that?
No, I'm not.
That's child abuse, am I?
Come on, Joy. That is ridiculous. That is absolutely ridiculous.
should that be covered as well? Should that be covered as well? I mean,
as parents, you can't even claim that when a mother is saying, I will teach my son this, and you're claiming if she doesn't teach both ways just because your way isn't happening to be my way.
It's every scientist in the world.
perhaps, wait. Maybe if we're thinking about
Scientist.
maybe, yes, actually it is science. It is science, and in this particular case where you have also proof and you have your faith, both should be taught.
Yeah, I want him to know about the theory
so that both
But to
things.
go as far as child abuse, if it's not taught, that is a ridiculous statement.
I did not say that.
I stand by my statement.
It is, but you know what? I want Jeffrey. I want him to know about Darwinism so he can have a conversation with someone about
But
like,
what
what
happened
now.
Listen, if he goes to Stanford University and he goes in there and he doesn't know what Darwinism is, they're going to throw him.
No, I want him to know what Darwinism is so he can have a conversation.
Sherry,
But he's gonna.
okay, you will tell him what it is, but you will say, I assume, that you do not agree. That what you agree is creationism, that
Absolutely.
that God created the
Absolutely. He's
biblical.
gonna learn about the Bible.
Yeah. But when it comes, I mean, you can see what's happening with five of us. When you are discussing religion, you know what we are saying, there are schools that will not let you talk about Darwinism, and schools that will not let you talk about creationism. And let's just open the window and
Creationism
allow
should be taught in
someone to talk
religious
about
institutions. Darwinism is taught in the public schools because it is a science.
I still do not understand why one precludes the other. Why can they not be taught simultaneously? I never understood why you have to have one without the other.
I learned both at the same time. I grew up in a religious family.
Yes,
and I learned both scientifically too.
Yeah. So my point is that I don't understand why the discussion that you are talking about cannot be held with students because I realize that students are young and don't know some stuff. Now maybe this teacher is a young person too, and this should have been a conversation.
There are schools, depending upon what one's views are, which do not allow,
I don't understand why.
And there has throughout centuries been this discussion of can you have faith and also believe in science. And I remember
places they seem to say no are in the countries that we fight for having one mindset, one visual.
I think that both things can be taught in the school, but just like they don't teach Spanish in an English class, these are two separate things.
You have to do it a different way.
They don't teach, Swahili in a Spanish class. Those are two different languages. So these are two different languages. Have one class for one and one class for the other. But when they mix it up is when it confuses people.
But why can't
I think you can offer both, and I think it should come obviously first, if possible, from if you are a parent, you need to also take the opportunity to teach your kids what you think, show them what other people do, and explain it. I think that's a very fair way to go about this. I just think that when you're in a situation, I think we need to look at protecting our children, and they shouldn't be dominated by a teacher who's just trying to output anything.
I'm with you on that.
But if you're teaching science, you're not talking about the domination of a teacher. What we do see and what it has always been is that it is a very hot subject. In my conclusion, one of the things that I remember very moving, was when the astronauts, certainly believing in science, went into space and went to the moon